Yo, 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 what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Assassin 4. Y'all see me with my boys. I got the doctor in here, SR Day. I got my homies, the biggest plug in Charlotte T, and 910 Finest BT. We back, baby.
What's
A
good?
lot of exciting stuff going on in the sports world these past few days. Of course, we here because we're going to talk about this upcoming finals between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. But first, of course, here comes the NFL trying to steal the NBA's thunder when things are starting to get good. We had some major moves go down today. First, we're going to start with the Giants. They signed not one, not two, but three wide receivers today. They signed my boy Braxton Berrios from my Miami Hurricane. Shout out to him. But they also signed Juju Smith-Schuster, and then of course you can pretty much call him Giants legend. They bring him LSU BT's boy back, Odell Beckham Jr. Any thoughts about that, BT?
Hey man, I'm just happy my dog back in the league, bro. They tried to cancel my nigga, but he back, son. He's a real nigga, dog. Fuck out of here,
I,
son.
I feel you. I feel you, son. Next thing, of course, we have the worst kept secret trade that we all didn't see coming. Of course, we saw it coming. It's been reported for the last couple of months, alongside what else is going on in New England with certain personnel over there. But we're just going to talk about the AJ Brown trade. He's finally leaving Philadelphia, and Jalen Hurts going to play with MVP last year's MVP candidate Drake May. So pretty much, you can honestly say that it's an upgrade from Stephon Diggs. I think AJ Brown still got some years on him, so we see how this going to work out. We know the Broncos, they made some moves with bringing in Waddle, so AFC, they looks like it's starting to become a little arms race over there, fellas.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be harder and harder for like the Buffalo Bills to even try to do something. I think New England's going to have that. New England's going to have that division on lock for a while, especially if Drake May and AJ Brown can get on the same page. And this whole thing with with Mike Vrabel's stuff going on off the field, or if anything's still going on with it off the field, if it doesn't become a distraction, if it's not a distraction during the season, then they got it on lock to me.
I feel you, bro, but they Buffalo just got my dog DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? So they did give him a
Yeah,
little weapon over there.
yeah.
So I think that'll make things interesting a little bit, man.
All right. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting discussion when we get to that division. But of course, the most shocking and biggest trade of the day, Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year, just broke the sack record last year, has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Verse and some picks. T, you gotta feel it for your boy, man. He going from sunny LA to the gulag in Cleveland.
I mean, to go from Los Angeles to Cleveland's like going from Brazil to Russia, dog. If you know, you
If you know,
know.
you know. If you know, you know. It's ugly, man. But once again, Rams on the model, fuck them picks, man. They brought in a huge talent. So get this, y'all. They pretty much got the MVP, the leading touchdown getter, the leading reception getter, and the leading sack getter all on the same team now. Would you say, BT? It's all of what? The Rams got the MVP, the
Yup.
all-time, the leading sack leader, the leading touchdown getter, and the leading reception getter from last year. So what that mean, BT, is all of what?
Oh, it's title of bust, man. Title of bust, and fuck the Rams, man. They better
Yeah.
win the championship this year, bro.
I'm just tired we got to play these fools, but it's whatever. We're going to get to that when we get to the football season because, look, man, the finals are here, y'all. This upcoming Wednesday, we got San Antonio Spurs versus the New York Knicks. But before we get to the game, let's talk about how we get there, how we got here. The Knicks pretty much dismantled the Cavs after the Cavs tricked off that first game. It was just Knicks ever since. And then we had a crazy 7-game series between the Spurs and the OKC Thunder. Spurs prevail in Game 7 on the road. Wemby, Western Conference MVP, Brunson, Eastern Conference MVP. But y'all think OKC gonna be okay after this loss?
Yeah, I'll start it off. I think they will be. They gotta make some moves though. But you know what's funny, bro? It's crazy how stuff can change in a year, bro. Because
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
last year at this time we was talking about they gonna have a dynasty, bro. You know, all
Yeah,
their players like 27 and younger.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We thought they was gonna be going back to back to back for a little minute. So, but I do think they gonna be all right. I do see them tweaking their roster a little bit. And I will give them this. Like J Dub didn't play pretty much the whole season, but they
Mm-hmm.
still the number one seed, man. So I can't really use that as no excuse because they didn't have them all year. So,
And they was
but
in the games. They had opportunity, so it wasn't like. And
yeah,
they have crazy. And they had crazy depth too. I know, McCain and Wallace and not J Dub or even AJ Mitchell, but they was hitting some key shots. It's just Game 7, they just didn't. It just looked like since Game 6 and 7, the Spurs just had a different mindset than the OKC Thunder. I
yeah,
think I
Yeah.
think OKC relaxed a little bit in Game 6 because they had like we got another game just in case things get too crazy, and then Game 7, you can tell the Spurs just had a like different mentality than OKC Thunder to start the game. Shea eventually woke up, and he showed up for the team, unlike some people we're gonna get to
Yeah.
in a minute, but um yeah, it was moments where they was in the game. They had moments, but Spurs were making the key plays this game, and that's why you don't take games for granted in the playoffs, man. Try to get them all.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I seen this thing on socials that the only untouchables on OKC right now is Shea and Caruso. Everybody else can go, bro. Like
Damn.
this
hey,
nigga said
Damn.
Shea
hey,
and
I ain't gonna hold
Caruso,
you. I
bro.
ain't gonna hold you.
I
Caruso had stake to say he could have won Western Conference MVP on the low.
yes, yes, yes. That was the
On the
Western.
low,
Yes,
on the
yes.
low.
If
Yeah,
they had won the series, he should have been the Western Conference Finals MVP. Like
Low
he
ski,
should have been.
on the
Yeah.
low ski. I
Yes.
know Shea had like his 2 games where, but Caruso, he was the reason why they was winning most of those games they got,
Exactly.
especially Game 2. Game 1, he was on fire.
yeah, he was cooking them boys up, man.
Yeah.
But shit, T, what happened to Chet, man? What happened to my boy?
What happened to him? He pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that famous song he in the hat? I smell pussy.
What happened to that boy?
I smell pussy.
Damn. Nah, Chet, that was an all timer bad right there, man. I hate it
Yeah,
had
you
to
gotta
be.
relax.
Oh shit,
Damn,
man.
man.
I mean, damn, bro. Like you got dunked on like twice in game one. You didn't fight back. You've been getting punked. Devin Vassell talking shit to your face, and you did absolutely nothing about it, bro. Like at some point, you have to fight back, bro. Literally, bro. Wimby dunked on him early in the game, bro, and it's like Chet Homer checked out, bro. It was one possession in the fourth quarter where he was wide open, hesitated, and Wimby ran up on him. And instead of going at him, bro, he dribbled and then like, nah, I don't want this, and then passed the ball up, bro. He
Yep.
passed up open shots. Like the fact that Kendrick Williams came in and only played 4 minutes and took more shots than Chet did in like 34 minutes is crazy, bro. Like, and to be honest with you, if I'm Sam Presti, Chet Holmgren got to go.
Damn,
Gotta
already?
go. Yes. Yes, if you want to compete versus team, because the Spurs are only gonna get better. Wimby is only maybe about 65 to 70% what he could be offensively. He's still raw on the offensive end. Dylan Harper is a rookie. Stephon Castle was in his second season. Vasil is young. Um, yeah, if you want to deal with this team in the future, you're gonna have to make some bold decisions and some cutthroat decisions. And Chet, appreciate you for helping us win a ring last year, but um, when it really mattered versus this guy that we're going to deal with for the next 10 years, you just don't have it, bro. And you know, you might want to consider bringing in a Giannis Antetokounmpo. 'Cause we know Giannis isn't going to back down from Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, if you're saying Presti, you have all these assets. At what point do you start putting all your chips on the table and going all in? Because yeah, you won the championship last year, but in Game 7, if Halliburton didn't get hurt, it was looking kind of dicey.
That
But
shit was gonna be
you
Yeah,
spooky.
still
it was.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
so, but you got the championship, and this year, you're still the number one seed, but Spurs came out of nowhere. Not came out of
yeah,
nowhere, but I knew that they'd probably make the playoffs. But for them to win 62 games and be this good this
Yeah, that
soon
shit
in
was
this
lit.
in their first playoff run, they're in the finals. Like,
yeah.
to be honest with you, bro, like I don't think we've seen anything like this in the history of the league, bro. Like someone in his first playoff run doing this is crazy, bro. Like I know Magic won a ring his first
Like the
season, but Kareem was the man on that team until
Yeah,
Game 6 when he was injured, right?
yeah,
Jordan's first playoff run, that team was garbage. They got beat in the first round. LeBron's first playoff run, they got beat in the second round. Like all the greats had to take lumps early. Like Kobe had his air balls in Utah. Like
yeah.
Wemby just
It's
ran
enough
through
fun.
the West, and now he has opportunity to really stake his claim as the face of the league. If it is already his, if he wins a championship, you can go ahead and just give it to him, bro. Like it's a wrap. And he's only like 20 something
He's
years old in his
22.
third
He's
season. Yeah, in his
22.
third season, bro. Like it's gonna be real spooky, bro. It's gonna be real spooky, man, because they can still flip De'Aaron Fox at some point and make a move for themselves.
It's gonna be
they
it's
will.
definitely gonna I feel like it's gonna be a undercover arms race for Giannis this all season because like you said T you wanna have to move a big piece and some picks in order to get Giannis. We seen the Bucks get fleeced before in the last couple of years with some of these trades, but um with Giannis on the table, you got to max out that value, man. I know he's been kind of hurt last couple of seasons, but if this trade is worse than Rudy Gobert or hell, even worse than the KD trades the last couple of seasons or the Mikal Bridges trade, y'all fail as an organization. Y'all don't get a lot of pieces back for Giannis.
Like
Don't get
Giannis
Luca.
on OKC, bro. Like you don't have to he doesn't have to exert a lot of energy because they're still gonna have depth. They still got guys
Yeah,
that they drafted that haven't really even played yet.
play it. Yeah,
Yeah,
And then you got like AJ Mitchell who's on a rookie deal and Jared McCain's on a rookie deal and they're still gonna have pieces. Um so Giannis won't really have to really exert himself and carry the load throughout the regular season because
and you
you
still
got
got
Shea.
Shea.
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah, Shay.
So it's just like, you just kind of low manage him, like not necessarily about games, but just manage his minutes and be like, hey man, you don't have to necessarily carry the load, just rebound, defend the paint, be aggressive. Shea got you on the perimeter. And then the postseason, that's when, he turns it up. So it is gonna be an arms race for sure because like I said, this team has like everybody on this team, this is like their first playoff run, except for like De'Aaron Fox and Harrison Barnes, and this is only De'Aaron Fox's second playoff run
and
keeping the
Cornette
beans. So
and Cornette. Yeah.
yeah, so this is like really spooky that they're showing that they can get to this stage and not folding under pressure. Like to win a game 7 on the road in Oklahoma City with no playoff experience is crazy. And then I gotta give credit also to Mitch Johnson. He's been coaching his ass off, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
He's been
what was
coaching.
impressive I think what was impressive about the Spurs is like they wanted this matchup. You feel me? They they really made it personal. You could kind of tell OKC they trying to play it cool, like we the champs, like we understand this team beat us, but like they really got serious about it. Like the Spurs really made it personal. We all know about the history between Wemby and Chet, but you can also saw like in some of the matchups, like they was really going at this, but like they really wanted to take their soul and take this championship away from them. Like game 1, when we saw Wemby go off because he saw Shea get that MVP trophy,
hmm
going into now game 7, he's holding the Western Conference MVP trophy. That's a hell of a like, like whoever says hate don't feel, y'all bullshitting. Hate is a great motivator if you ask me.
And then Wemby watching Shea, get his MVP trophy in game 1 was just like to set the tone for the entire series, bro. Like people are already talking about this is a Dave Robinson Hakeem type moment, and it kind of played out in that
Yeah,
way.
you did. Back to Chet real quick. I mean, I ain't seen a freeze out a moment like that since like Ben Simmons against the Hawks. Like that's how atrocious that was. Like he was looking off open threes and passing it and shit like that. I was like, Chet, you. I was actually kind of mad that they didn't take him out and do like a Hartenstein, Jalen Williams lineup because Chet just didn't have that shit. Chet just did not have it, and he was trying to give him some confidence, give him some opportunity. But once you saw Chet look off like the second shot, you should have pulled him for the rest of the game. He rated too late to pull Chet from the game because Chet he was his confidence was shot.
Yeah, man. And honestly, you don't have to look in the mirror because it's funny you mentioned Ben Simmons. His career can go one or two ways. You can either get better, get in the weight room and come back stronger, or you can this will eat you alive and you'll go down the
Be
Ben
out the
Simmons
league.
path of wasted talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get that way. But yeah, OKC just wasn't hungry enough. They weren't like, you talked about the mentality that the Spurs had, that Wemby had, that all those guys had. I feel like we talked about like T and you, Drake, you mentioned the tone that Wemby set throughout the series. It trickled down through the whole roster. You saw how Castle was handling his matchups. The same thing with Vassell. All the way down the roster. And yeah, I mean, I thought, Game 7 was going to depend a lot on how Chet Holmgren was going to play, especially since J-Dub wasn't there. And J-Dub got hurt in Game 5. I don't know why he played in Game 6, which, I feel like ended up being costly. If he didn't play in Game 6, maybe he doesn't play in Game 7 still. We don't know. Yeah, I think it just that nonchalant shit that OKC has it didn't work out this time.
Man. And yeah, it's going to be a long off season for them for sure because their window. I mean, they still have a window, but
Yeah, they still got a window.
But you have to deal with this team moving forward. And the Spurs right now have the upper hand, confidence wise, youth wise, health wise at the moment. Like, this is a team that you're going to have to deal with. Like, we'll probably see this again in the Western Conference Finals next year. So,
Honestly, yeah.
like, how are you going to respond? And also, I think for Oklahoma City, and this kind of will be a point for they're going to have to find a way to get bigger at the guard position a little bit. I think this is why the Knicks have a chance versus the Spurs because at times we saw Harper, Castle, and Vassell just straight up bully their way to the basket versus
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State smaller guards like Caruso and Case and Wallace are great defenders, but they're small. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily they don't have the lean for like a build, you know what I'm saying? But in this next series, Anunoby ain't no punk. Josh Hart isn't weak. Even
No.
Mikal Bridges, he's slim, but he has length. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be interesting to see how do the Spurs guards attack um, the other guys outside of Brunson. Because we all know they're going to put Jalen Brunson in about 1,000 different actions. And it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be interesting to see
Mm-hmm.
how Mike Brown who's he put Brunson on and how he, try to hide him on the defensive end. But those other guys, Anunoby, um,
Mikal Bridges.
Hart, Mikal Bridges, even Alvarado. He's not necessarily a bigger guy, but he's going to be a pest as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
it's going to be a little bit of a different challenge for the Spurs versus this Knicks team. And then also, Carthy Towns is a bigger and stronger guy than Chet, and
Mm-hmm.
he likes
Mm-hmm.
to attack the basket when he doesn't make a pass. He'll attack the basket. So it
Yeah.
would be interesting to
Yep.
see that matchup versus and who does Wimby guard? Because you put him on Cat and risk foul trouble, or you kind of let him just roam in the paint, especially when Mr. Robinson's in the game. So
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a lot of different factors that go into the finals, but I feel like Oklahoma City, they're going to have to give a little bit more lean for a little bit bigger at the guard position moving forward because we know that Harper is only going to get better and stronger. And even Castle and Vassell, they'll continue to get better and stronger as well. And they at times they just straight up bully the OKC guards. Even Shea, like they knocked Shea around a few times as well. So
Mm-hmm.
um, that's something that they're
Event-
going to have to address as well.
And don't forget, they still got Keldon Johnson, who just we know
Won
he's been in the
Sixth of the
gym,
Year.
and then they got Carter Bryant, another rookie. Like you can see and give him a couple years in the gym or whatever. He was being physical. But before we get into the final, because that was some good analysis going into between the Spurs and the Knicks. Let's talk about one of the hot topics from the series: ethical hoops.
Man, fuck ethical hoops, bro.
Hold on, Dave. Hold on, Dave. Cause I understand where you was coming from when you was like you don't like the term and shit. I actually do. People just be me using that shit all the fucking time. You feel me? And it's usually from the casuals because they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Because for all the people that was mad at OKC with the flopping and Church of Uncalls and shit, Spurs was on that time too. And Spurs got away with a whole bunch of calls that should have been called. You feel me? Like there was times when Wemby could have been suspended for a game. They let that shit go. There was other stuff going on. We saw what Castle did to J-Dub, which probably had J-Dub miss the last few games of this series and everything. There's been hard fouls both ways, but people like Castle want to argue like it was like crime. Both teams were doing some bullshit, if we're going to be honest, during this series. It just is what it is, but we still got a great series out of it. So start trying to I understand it's OKC is the hot topic because they're the champs, and now all of a sudden y'all don't like the way they was winning and everything. But trust me, these teams not the only ones that got gimmicks. That's why y'all need league pass. Because last year's Pacers was on that time. You saw what Detroit was doing this year, and so on. So that's why I was like, I'm cool with the term ethical hoops, but it was like mad casuals just online like misusing it because they don't understand what the fuck they talking about. But y'all over there preaching ethical hoops, but y'all like the Boston Celtics offense. It don't make sense. So that's all I gotta say on that. That's all I gotta say on that.
And I just want to say like the reason why I don't like the term I dislike the term because like you're saying how it's used, how it's misused. I honestly don't really know what it means for real because there's more than one way to play basketball. We see it in the NBA, and just like you talked about with all the flopping and kind of getting to the free throw line, the free throw merchant type of action. A lot it happens in the NBA every day. It happens every day. It happens all throughout the season. Like most if not all teams have players or a group of players that operate in that type of way. So I don't really understand it. It makes no sense. I think it takes away from value from the game. It makes the game kind of unrecognizable. I don't really understand what we mean by ethical and unethical hoops. I mean, I don't know. I think like we said with Boston, just like jacking up threes every single possession. I mean, would we call that unethical hoops? So
call it accidental basketball.
I don't understand it.
But I'll break it down for you, Ren. I'll give. I think the issue people have with Oklahoma City is that they don't necessarily even need to be doing all the flopping and stuff. Like Shea does, like Game 7, Shea he doesn't need to flop, but somebody actually tracked the amount of times he falls down per game, and it was ridiculous, bro. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a lot more than some of the other guys. Like, but whatever, right?
This thing got BT on camera.
I think the point is that Shea's too good to be doing that stuff anyway. Like we saw in Game 7, he doesn't necessarily need to be falling and doing all that stuff. And then I get I think a lot of people dislike Oklahoma City. Yeah, we see other teams do it, and this is not how I feel. This is what I see online. People feel like Oklahoma City gets away with it to a certain level that other teams don't get away with it, especially like Lou Dort and some of their other guys, Caruso. Lou Dort be playing football out there, bro. Let's be honest, bro.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah, for sure.
He about fucked De'Aaron Fox up. He about fucked
De'Aaron Fox up.
He about fucked him up. When I saw him dying for that basketball, I was like, oh shit. and then Fox started limping. I was like,
I
man.
was like, oh damn.
Damn.
I was like, he just
I
got
think
in
that's
this
what
series.
people's
Yeah.
gripe is per se. And like I said, it's not how I feel. This is what I see online. But yeah, like some of the stuff that like I said, Shea is too good to be searching for calls like that all the time.
Way
And I
too
know
good.
he was getting hacked at times, whatever. You gotta play through it, bro. Everybody's going to get hacked, especially in the playoffs, bro. Like you're gonna get grabbed, you're gonna whatever. You gotta play through it, bro. And I'm glad that he did it in Game 7. And he went out on his shield, and he wasn't really out there flopping and doing all this stuff. But I think that's what people's gripe is. But like you said, every team flops. Every team, especially in the playoffs, are hacking. Like you said, Boston jacks up Boston really lost a series because they didn't know what to do besides jacking up threes, and it wasn't working. That's why they let Philadelphia come back from 3-1 instead of just going to the paint. When they had Tatum before he got injured, posting him up or letting him operate in the mid-range, or hell, even Jalen Brown, they just want to keep jacking up threes and cost them a series, and honestly, cost them a chance to get to the Eastern, possibly the Eastern Conference Finals, because who knows if Boston versus the Knicks, who knows, but. That's why. That's why I said analytics has had a bad rap this postseason, especially Cleveland. Like analytically, you won 2 out of the 4 games, but the stat sheet says you got swept. Like analytics is a tool, but when it's your main, how you operate your whole thing of basketball, how we saw Daryl Morey in Houston, and I remember someone said that Daryl Morey went to the owner of Houston after they lost Game 7 and talking about, well, we really won the game or something like that, like analytically, but
y'all not
moving on
but
to
y'all not going
championship.
to the finals. Y'all not going to the finals. So what you mean?
Like, I'm glad that basketball is going back to the way it's supposed to be played, especially in the playoffs where physicality and the tougher teams usually win out. San Antonio was just a little bit tougher than Oklahoma City. And that's that. And in the East, the Knicks not only have they been tougher than most teams, but they just flat out been beating everybody's ass. They've been a machine offense. I don't know what clicked in that Atlanta series, but there's been a
that's
lot
why.
of discourse about the East being JV and the Knicks or whatever. But honestly, it's gonna sound crazy coming from me. I actually give the Knicks a fighting chance in this series. I think this is gonna be a 6-7 game series.
No, not like the reason I'm going so hard for the Spurs to win, especially I was rooting for, like, ever since Boston lost, and you think about the way the Knicks are playing, I wouldn't be surprised. You should be favoring them, because if we remember, these two teams face each other in the Commissioner Cup championship game in Vegas, and the Knicks won that game. And I know, BT, you get on us about, we hate on Silver and shit like that, but let's be fucking real. Everything he done that we hate has been working, because he invented this Commissioner Cup shit, and you got the two teams that was in that championship game playing for another championship in these finals. You got Brunson, the Eastern Conference MVP, versus Wemby, the Western Conference MVP. There's already kind of a little bit bad blood, because if y'all didn't saw the video I post, Wemby threw Brunson's ball that he scored 61 points. Even though the Knicks lost, he threw his 61-point ball into the stands, like on some Pacers and Bucks shit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised there might be something there. And you know how that Garden is going to be crazier than we ever seen before in the last few years. It's going to be the craziest we ever going to see it before. So that's why this series is going to be interesting.
On the game 3, because it's 1-1 split on the game 3. My God,
the Knicks have been playing lights out at home. Like, they playing lights out at home. Even when we thought the Cavs had them dead to rights, the way they came back in that game, I was like, okay. Because sometimes, and we can be real honest, we hate the Knicks, but it was never because we thought it was a sorry team. They have talent. And over the years, that's never been. They have talent. It's just they like the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. Like, everybody just thinks they're gonna win every fucking year, but y'all just been sorry, or y'all getting your own way. Y'all seem like y'all have mitigated that this year. And I know y'all play a hobbled Sixers team. Y'all beat a Hawks team that y'all should have beat, and maybe shouldn't have taken 6 games, but y'all got them out the way. And then y'all just dismantled this Cavs teams. They coming in with great momentum. But I think what I give Spurs a shot, though, even though they play a 7-game series, it's not like they had to play game one of the finals and the very next day or the day after. They got a good few 2, 3.5 days rest before this game one, so people should be rested and not as injured coming into the series. But the Knicks on fire.
Yeah,
But so
I think the biggest thing that clicked for the Knicks is how Mike Brown uses Karl Anthony Towns. And Cat is averaging 6 assists so far this playoffs. That's double what he's averaged for any postseason. Over his career, like he's averaged about 3 assists in the postseason. The previous postseason, with the Knicks last year and with Minnesota, he's averaged like around 2 assists. But Mike Brown has kind of turned him into kind of a point center, type of situation, against like those last 3 games against the Hawks, and we saw it in the Philly series. For about the the Cavs, I mean, Cavs Knicks was actually like the Eastern Conference Finals prediction. Like I think most people had that matchup at the beginning of the season, but we obviously didn't think that James Harden would be on the team. But we thought like, Cleveland, was good enough based on how they were constructed to get there. But Cleveland just told us what we already knew about them. They're soft and they're punks. Like they like, even if they won game one, I still don't think they would have won the series. I think they would have just lost in probably 6 games because I just don't think when push comes to shove, they don't have the toughness to win, a physical series like that.
True. But I'm glad you brought up Cat because one thing that would be an issue for the Knicks is Karl Anthony Towns cannot be in foul trouble. And he has a big problem with getting into foul trouble. And we know Mitchell Robinson is dealing with a hand injury. He had to get surgery on his pinky. So Knicks have to make sure that they're able to keep their bigs on the floor because I don't think with Wemby on the floor, this is a team you can try to play small ball with if the game is close. Maybe if you have a sizable lead, you might be able to get away with it if Cat and Mitchell and foul trouble. But the game is close. Like we've seen how much of a lob threat Wemby is against that OKC front court. If there's nobody in the game to be physical with Wemby, the dome joint's about to be like automatic. And you called it, I think the Spurs, their biggest problem is, making sure they're not turning the ball over as much because they did a lot in that OKC series. They was just fortunate it didn't really harm them as much.
Yeah, and I think we'll see OG and Anunoby at times guarding Wemby. And also, DOR dude that they have, if Mr. Robinson or Cat gets in foul trouble, he's gonna have to come in there.
You talking about DDA?
Sorry, I'm bugging on his name, but he's gonna have to come in if they one of those guys get in foul trouble. But Cat that cannot afford to be in foul trouble this series because the Knicks don't have a lot of depth at the big position. And if you are relying on OG and Anunoby, OG can get physical with Wemby and get underneath him, but when Wemby makes the adjustments, what else can you do, bro? Like you need Cat on the floor, you need Mitchell Robinson on the floor.
Yeah, if OG's guarding Wemby, that means there's somebody from the perimeter that's going to start getting open like a Harper or a Castle.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, we're taking a quick break in the episode to present an ad for Alpha Progression. If you're serious about building muscle and tired of the gimmicks, check out the Alpha Progression app. It's no BS, just science-backed training designed by real lifters and competitive bodybuilders. Alpha Progression has already been named the App of the Day by Apple twice, and it's the top-rated fitness app in Germany, now making waves worldwide. What sets this app apart? First, the intuitive workout logger. It's powerful enough for seasoned lifters, but simple enough for beginners to jump right in. Then there's the AI-powered plan generator. It customizes workouts from scratch based on your goals and equipment, with over 1,000 trillion input combinations. Quality-wise, this app has workout plans that measure up to the best personal trainers in the world. And it doesn't stop there. Their progression algorithm gives you exact weight and rep suggestions based on your performance, so you're always improving and never plateauing. And right now, we got a special deal for you guys. For you all as Assassin4 podcast listeners, get 20% off your first payment using this following link, alphaprogression.com/Assassin4. That's alphaprogression.com/Assassin4. SAVSIN4. Train smarter, grow stronger. Download the Alpha Progression app today.
And man, it's gonna be interesting, like especially at this point of the season. Like I said, talent gets you through the regular season, but in the playoffs, that's where we see those game-to-game adjustments from the coaching. And Mike Brown's been on a heater, and the Spurs they got great defensive perimeter, so it's gonna be a chess match. See how Mitch Johnson tries to slow down the Knicks' offense and what Mike Brown has for Wemby. Like you said, we saw it. I saw in the NBA Cup that Mitchell Robinson was able to get physical, and OG and Cat, they did a good job, but they got to stay on the floor.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical. Yeah, it's going to be a physical battle. I think they're going to try and employ the same strategy they had for Shea. They had the bigger defenders for Shea, and we know Brunson being a smaller guard. We're really going to see what he's made of because, coming into these finals, he's been averaging about, 27 points per game day.
Yeah,
so,
27 points.
So he's been hooping, but, it's kind of easy when your competition is like, the Hawks don't really – I mean, I know they probably had like Jalen Johnson or him, but they was able to figure out how to get him going. Then you had, Maxey and VJ. He's still young. He's a rookie. You really didn't have anybody, especially when Embiid was missing games. The paint was open. Brunson was able to do what he wanted to do with the Sixers. And then it's fucking Harden, dog. Like when Corey was talking about who's going to win the Battle of the Cones, the winner is Jalen Brunson because he straight torched James Harden, man. James Harden was damn near a non-factor in that series, man. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see which guard they're going to start with Brunson. Is it going to be like Castle, might be Castle, and then when Dylan Harper checks in, will he take on that assignment as well?
Yeah, the analytics didn't tell him that James Harden was a bad defender. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is going to be. Yeah, I'm interested to see like kind of how if Brunson gets weighed down by like I'm sure he's going to see like Castle guarding him. He's going to see a bunch of different looks. So I'm interested to see if kind of that that weighs on him throughout the series, and also how they adjust because I think Mike Brown is going the same way how he picked out Harden in every single matchup. In the Eastern Conference Finals, I think he's going to try to find a way to get Brunson some open looks and hide him on defense. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's an interesting coaching battle because I feel like each coach can outcoach the other. I think Mitch Johnson can outsmart Mike Brown, but also Mike Brown is true to this. So. And former Spurs former Warriors assistant from the Popovich tree, I believe. So
yeah, he got chips as an assistant.
Yeah, so like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. It's the matchup is honestly a little bit more even than what people think.
Yeah, I admit that. I thought it was going to be Western Conference or bust, but you just got to think the way the Knicks are playing, they're actually playing to the potential that. And they're probably even playing him better. But I mean, when you trade for Cat and you trade 4 picks for Mikal Bridges, you trade picks and players for OG Anunoby, it's like this is what I expected when you make moves like this. Like it's got to be some winning attached to all those moves because that's a lot of capital you gave up for those 3 players. But T, a question for you: who you think will have to be the unsung heroes for each team for them to get it done to win this championship?
For the Knicks, I think Deuce McBride, he's going to have to be able to make shots and help space the floor because we know that they're going to pretty much throw many different defenders at Brunson, Vassell, Castle, Carter Bryant. They're going to throw the house. So somebody else on the perimeter for the Knicks is going to have to make shots. I think OG is going to be huge on both sides of the floor. He's a guy that can create a little bit of offense for himself. attack the basket, make shots, and also defend. And Alvarado, he's going to have to bring some energy off the bench as well, along with Deuce McBride. And, Landry Shamet's been on the heater. So,
Yeah,
if he has one game where he's on a heater, that could be the difference in a series like this. These type of series are won on the margins. We know there can be a game that Wemby's going to win. We know there's a game that Brunson might close down the stretch, and then, maybe Cat or Dylan Harper or Fox, has the moment.
hmm
But when we get to game 6 and 7, those games are usually won on the margins. So bench play, coaching, um, whoever handles the physicality. For the Spurs, I will say Keldon Johnson, and I will say Harrison Barnes just because he's been in the finals, and I feel like he might have a moment where he might hit a big shot or just make his presence felt a little bit because this moment won't be too big for him because he's been here before. So if I'm thinking about some guys outside the box, I'm looking at those guys, and maybe even a Luke
yeah,
Cornett as well. He made that one play. He was terrible most of the series, but he made arguably the biggest play with Oklahoma State. That block changed everything because they were up
yeah,
6. First
Yeah.
time driving, and they cut that to 4, and that
yeah.
progress
It
is
was just
going.
gonna
And
be
who
a
knows what
yeah,
happens?
about yeah. Now I like the Kel Johnson pick because I think we're still waiting for the whole. Cause I thought it was kind of weird that I mean not weird. I was like he won 6 man a year. I was like I guess maybe because it was like a Spurs team thing. They won 62 games. He was the first person off the bench. But I'm like I'm still kind of waiting for him to play like the 6 man a year. He did hit some good shots in Game 7. But that's a good pick. I'm still waiting for like that Kellen Johnson like I don't know 22-point game or something like that. But I think we're in for a good finals, fellas. I don't know how y'all feel. I know I know we're most of us. I don't know how we feel. Probably rooting for one team. I know I'm rooting for the Spurs, but I'm definitely scared of the Knicks, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I them Bama's been hooping lately. I can't front on that.
Shit, I think it's
I'm gonna
going
go
seven.
Spurs in 7,
Oh shit. Okay.
but do I feel confident in that pick? I actually don't because let's talk matchups,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know, man. And I
No,
also one thing we have to
like the
talk
Knicks can
about,
really get the Spurs their own medicine.
yeah,
Like
and the Knicks know that this is like their moment. They have to do it
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
They have to do it now because Boston's not going to sit back and stand pat. We
Detroit
know
ain't
that they're
either.
going to make a move. Detroit is going to try to make a move to get better. They clearly need to make a move to get better.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Um,
So
And you got
who knows where
and
Giannis
got
ends up?
and then you got up and coming teams like all three of our teams, the Raptors, Wizards, and the Hornets.
and then
Like
Atlanta gonna get better too.
Yeah,
so, it's not going to be as easy like it was this year. Y'all did your thing, but it's not going to be as easy like it was this year. And we've been saying it for a few episodes this year. Like, if not this year, then when? Because this when we knew Boston didn't have Tatum for majority of the season, we was like, this is the year y'all got to get this joint done because Boston won't be at full strength like we kind of saw. And then they even tricked off that 3-1 series, that 3-1 lead. And then you end up getting a favorable matchup with the Sixers. So then all you have to do is be a Cavs team who we already thought were not really like false contenders. Like the roster and the coach and the media might say they're contenders, but we really didn't believe in them. We was on a you have to show me type moment with them. So like, cause like T said, the Spurs are only going to get better. OKC is going to be trying to make some moves this offseason. You know, you got to throw Lakers doing something unfair in the mix, like how they got Luka and shit. You know, they're going to be trying to make some moves. The West is going to be crazy. Denver is not going anywhere anytime soon. Everybody just sees Joker for who he really is and shit. Finally, took y'all a little minute. So, low over the past, I say decade or so, we have been seeing teams come out of nowhere, winning their first championships or winning championships that haven't done like 40 years or over a decade. This kind of fits the timeline for this New York Knicks team, as in, we've seen all these other like traditional teams win it. like the Knicks are kind of due for one, but we don't want to see that. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see that shit, but it is what it is.
I'm gonna be the unpopular guy, and I actually don't really. It don't matter to me who wins the finals. I mean, if Spurs win it, Stephon Castle gets a championship. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Like the only good thing about the Knicks winning is PG can bring back another trophy with Josh Hart and everything. Like I could see this being a Knicks 6 game, a series.
That's actually my pick, man. Knicks in 6, bro.
Like I
Knicks
can really
in 6.
see that shit because the Spurs team is still young, and this Knicks team has played together a little bit more. It's just if Cat and Mitchell don't get into foul trouble, and they can just contain Wemby a little bit more, like it can really get difficult for them.
Yeah, but if the Knicks are gonna win this championship, they gotta do it in 6 games. Because if it gets to Game 7, this Spurs team is not scared of the moment. They proved that they're not scared of the moment. I feel like if it gets to Game 7, Wemby is gonna will their way to a championship. So,
but what I'm worried about is, for a young team, they hold their composure very well, but you can rattle them and you can make them like get them into hot-headed mistakes. Like we saw it with Wemby, we see it with Castle, we see it with Dylan Harper, we see it with Vassell, like and Keldon. Like you could really like bait them into making boneheaded mistakes because they're still a youthful team. They can get overconfident at sometimes, and the Knicks have a lot of vets. They got a lot of maturity over there. People know their roles. They know what they're doing. So you kind of see them not getting. They know like Brunson's the star. Cat is probably talent-wise. Cat's probably the best player on the team, but he's going to do his role. Mikal, OG, they know what they're doing. It might be a moment where Dylan Harper could be like, "Man, fuck Fox, this is my show," and try to shoot them out the game or some shit like that. Even though Dylan Harper's been playing well, I'm just saying you might hurt the Spurs this series if they don't hold a composure fully.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to see the Knicks win, bro.
I know.
We all know. Yeah, we know, bro. We know, man. Hey,
look. Too many of them down here in Charlotte, bro. I'll never hear the end of this shit, bro.
Nah, it's gonna be ugly, son. It's gonna be ugly, son.
Hey, look, man. For the past few decades, DC Comics, Marvel have been bringing the comic books to life, man. Why not bring it more to life? And Gotham, the city burnt down in the comic books. Let it burn down in real life. Let it burn down in real life. Let it burn down in real life.
New York might burn, win or lose.
Yeah,
real life. Hey, Dave, them 12 bridges going all the way up, regardless. Them bridges going up regardless of the results.
Yeah,
keep all that shit contained, man. Keep all that shit contained.
Yeah, man. Stay your ass out of NYC for the next 2 weeks.
Man, I could just see New York. I could just see Nick Spider-Man out there just doing some man.
Boy, imagine that side talk. NYC.
Son, that shit might get so turned. They might bring Green Goblin out there too, fam. Like all of Marvel and DC gonna be out there. Everybody gonna be masked up, son.
Boy, yeah, we gonna see. We're going to see.
Cool. But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting finals. But yeah, man, I can't wait. Wednesday, tune in, man. Tune into that shit. But before we leave, y'all, let's talk about, because during the Western East Conference Finals, they did announce some awards. Let's start all NBA teams. Let's start with the all NBA teams this year. Let's bring it back full circle to what we've seen recently. Everything, as you see, you can see the first team and everything. You got Wemby, you got Joker, you got Shea, you got Luka, you got Cade. Then second team. I know we got I know my boy KD was on that second team. Oh yeah, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Kawhi, D Milch on the second team. Then this was where things get funny. That third team. You got it's Jamal Murray, Jalen Duren, Chet Holmgren. Who else on that
Yeah,
third team?
yeah.
Who they already? Oh yeah,
Tyrese Maxey, Jamal Murray, Jalen Johnson, Chad
Jalen
Holmgren,
Johnson.
Jalen Duren. Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for y'all. And mind you, I'm only doing this for two players. And it's not because of the rule. It's just like I'm not going to do if everybody's healthy type thing. I'm just going based off of this series, off of this season, right? Kay and Luca was able to get on this list because their appeals were approved. They denied Ant-Man's his appeal because they said he only played 60 games. But if you look at the amount of minutes he played, he logged in a lot of time that could have been equivalent to more than 60 games, right?
I
Yeah.
think they need to go to minutes based on minutes, not games played. And also, I'm kind of looking back. I know that he struggled, but seeing Chet Holmgren and Jalen Duren on here and Karl Anthony Towns was on there is absolutely crazy to me, bro. Looking back, I know it's a regular season award. I know Cat was trying to figure it out, but man, it looks really bad having Duren on there and Chet on there now, bro. Like, yeah. And
And
like the Ant-Man thing is true because like I remember they were talking about this on one of them shows. Like they should go off of minutes because some people play a lot of games, but they might not play minutes or be in low minutes, whatever. And
yeah,
like I say, it should be minutes first and then games play. Like because like you said, Ant Man logged a ton of minutes this year, and he should be on this list. Like I have no problem with Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, but like Ant Man to me had a better season than Donovan Mitchell. He
yeah.
had a better season than
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson. I actually think Jamal Murray had a great season. He carried Denver most of the season, in
hmm
my opinion. Like,
I think Jamal
yeah,
Murray was. I think Jamal Murray was deserving. Our first All Star this year. He really was carrying Denver when Joker was out for that month, and he was still playing well when he came back. So I was cool with Murray being on this list.
I have no problem with Maxey on this list as
Oh yeah,
well.
he
But
hooped. He hooped.
yeah, I think Ant Man not
And,
being on here is problematic. And then, like I said, I know it's a
and
regular season award, but man, it looks real bad for Chet and Jalen Duren, and especially Detroit. They're
and
going to have to make some
yeah,
decisions.
exactly. Because and this is what I said was going. Then I said this was going to happen. Then I said this shit was going to happen because players like Giannis didn't make the requirements, and B didn't make the requirements, and then you even then grant Ant's appeal. You now had a situation where Durant had a good season for Detroit, but is he a top 15 player from this season? No.
Is he worth 200 million? Absolutely not.
But now
He's
since he's on that, but now since he's on that list, you have to pay him
you have to pay
like
him.
he
Yeah.
is. And now I understand he's a young player. He can always improve and learn from this playoff experience just the same way like Chet has to learn from what happened to him in game 7. They're still young players. They're still young players. But now, Detroit, you in a bind because you know you're out there on the market trying to bring another star onto your team because you need more offensive power to go along with Cade. And because of Durham, because as you saw, Durham was a liability on the offensive side because the game slowed down. But you're gonna have to pay that man if you want him to stay in Detroit because you got rapport with him. Now, OKC was smart and just handled all that stuff with Chet before he got his All NBAs because Chet is about to start his extension soon after his final stand of his rookie deal. So OKC and Pressy, as we know, was smart. They got this stuff out of the way because J Dub already made his All NBA team last year. So it's like we can't. Let's just get everybody paid up so we can still have some wiggle room to play if we need to make a move. But I told people this was going to happen. Everybody's like, it's going to be fine. And the fact that y'all Joker fans was crying and y'all was on pins and needles all season, seeing he was going to miss like two or three more games to be ineligible, lets me know how y'all know that rule was some bullshit. But I digress.
It's like that series with Minnesota was bullshit. Y'all was ready to put him in top 10 combos, bro. And he went out sad, bro. But we're gonna save that for another discourse. Because we can go on and on about that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think Detroit is gonna have a real interesting all season with Durant. What do they do? Because even versus Orlando, he got exposed. Wendell Carter for most of that series was taking his lunch,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you know to not show up versus the Cavs, like we was really just questioning the Cavs' toughness a few minutes ago on this episode, and Durant, so he's a big, strong guy, really didn't do shit versus Mobley or Allen.
nope,
Is really kind of a bad omen if you're a Pistons fan because the Cavs are known to be soft. And the great thing was Cleveland wanted that matchup versus Detroit. They said it already. We want them in the
Yeah.
postseason. So the fact that we're talking about Cleveland wanting a matchup and then at times
they,
matching them having more physicality is crazy. If you're a
yeah,
Pistons fan, that's very concerning. Outside of
Yeah.
Cade, like you gotta have to start valuing your roster and almost to the point where anybody but Cade can go for the right move for the right price.
Yeah.
nah, you're right. But yeah, but I think NBA has to look in this, and they gotta start looking at the minutes as well as the games because Ant-Man was really deserving. He probably would have been on the second team with my boy KD, but still he was deserving because he was definitely not even top. I think he was like a top 10 player this year. So,
Yeah.
and I guess my only gripe is Jalen Brown be on the second team even though he was an MVP top 3 candidate. I mean, no, he wasn't top 3. They said it was, but he should have been. I mean, they always gonna bump Joker. I think Jalen Brown should have been on first team. I would have been fine moving somebody off of him. That's just me personally. But otherwise, other than that 13, because of the rule, it is what it is. That's what it's gonna look like.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna keep the rule, lessen the amount of games, man. Like instead of 65, let it be like 50 or
No,
something.
no, it's
No,
not.
no,
It's
no.
not.
I think 5 is a good number because you have to be on the floor.
Yeah, I
You
just
have to
think
be on
it's
the
like
floor.
I just think when it's that close, and like Ant had like legit. I would understand if like for like 10 or 15 games, Ant-Man just sat out because he was like, I don't want to play tonight. I just want a low match. You feel me? But he
Mhm.
was out those like games because he had like a legit serious injury and it was like, yeah, he could play it. He could keep playing on it, but then he won't be ready for the playoffs because it's going to be worn and torn. And now he's injured. He's going to be out for months. You feel me?
Yeah.
So he only had 60 games, but common sense, like he still played majority of the season.
Yeah.
People still got to see him. Like grant his appeal the same way you did for Luca and Cade, because they had serious injuries, just like Ant. They just had theirs was just like probably extended. Ant was more like sporadic throughout the year. Theirs was like a elongated stay of time, so maybe that's why. But I'm like, Ant injury was just as serious with the hamstring and the knee soreness just as much as like what Cade had with the blood clot. No, he had what was Cade? No, it was his lung. He had a collapsed lung,
Absalom,
and
yeah.
then Luca with the hamstring with his hammy and everything. So like I thought all three of them had legit reasons why their appeals should have been approved. That's just me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think 65 games is about what 80% of the season. So I
Yeah.
mean, if you should be able to if you really want to earn a certain award, you have to participate at a certain
But I think
amount.
we
But
can I
I
think
think
we can
minutes,
also
I think minutes is a better route.
but I think you can use judgment and eye test it and be like, yeah, this player only played like 59, 60 games, but it's because he had a
Also,
serious injury
also
and
did Ant
then
have like a serious illness too? Wasn't he like legitimately like sick at one point during the season, like some
probably
really bad flu or something?
I don't know, but
Serious.
probably you shouldn't count that against the player. Stuff like that.
It
Like
really
it's got to be like if you're gonna do 65 or you're gonna do this, it's got to be certain criteria. It's like let's make this make sense because Joker had serious like what knee injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we want to keep it a band, he should have taken more time to heal that joint.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be eligible, he had to play on it longer than he wanted to. That's why he had to miss that game at the end of the season because he just needed a day of rest. You feel me? So like you can also because the player gonna have to go and chase the bag. You feel me? They're gonna try to make that all NBA team. because there's a lot of like money that comes with that shit. But y'all, you really gonna put more stars in risk with this because they're gonna really try to go for it, and then you see what happened. And then let's also not forget we still had a player like Jason Tatum who wasn't even eligible, period, because he missed all those games because of the Achilles, coming back from the Achilles. So there's a lot of players in the mix because a lot of missed games. Now, we know he wasn't eligible at all, but I'm just saying Durant's going to get paid because a player like Ant-Man wasn't eligible. Now he's going to get his money. Now, when things go back to the status quo and you got the regular top 15 player and Durant back into his like top 20, top 25, now you got a player in the 20 to 25 range making top 10 money.
Yeah. Making $300 million. Just to average 8 points and 8 rebounds.
Silver, this is your league, man.
Yeah. Go ahead and fix it.
Speaking of fixing, let's go to the coach of the year. That award was gone to Joe Mazzulla of the Boston Celtics. And I get it. You know, nobody expected the Boston Celtics to be a top 3 seed. They didn't expect Boston to, to win the amount of games that they did. But to me, I felt like this was more addictive on like how good Jaylen Brown is. And in my opinion, he didn't really make any changes or noticeable changes. It was still the same system all year. It was just Derek White get more shots, Pritchard get more shots. They just had to figure the center position maybe, but I feel like coaches like Mitch Johnson for the Spurs or JB Bickerstaff for Detroit, or even Deg, because I know he's the defending champ, but Deg had a lot of stars missing games this year, still to win the Western Conference this year. So in my opinion, I just felt like all those candidates had a better stake than Joe Mazzulla winning the Coach of the Year. I probably my bet would have been between JB and Mitch because JB had a one-man offensive player help him win the Eastern Conference regular season. So kudos to you for that, man.
Yeah, my pick would have been JB. But I've been cool with Mitch winning it too because Mitch was kind of thrust into the coaching position a few months before the season started. So I would have been cool with that too.
Yeah, I probably went with Bickerstaff.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I just think Joe Mazzulla didn't really do much, and that's in my opinion. And we're gonna see what Boston does this offseason, if they make any changes at all, or there's gonna be some big changes this year. But shoot, other than that, fellas, before we wrap up, anything else that we need to talk about? I know tennis going on, Dave. I know you've been doing your hate watch. I know Osaka, she took that L today, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. Tough.
I know.
And, Tiafoe lost today too.
But yeah, I know. I don't want to bring that shit up, man. That's closer to home, man. Don't bring that shit up, man.
No, I knew how that shit was going, man. Because at the end of the fourth set, man, he was up 4-1, and then it got to the tiebreak. I was like, "No, you got to win this tiebreak." Because the fifth set, because I could feel like the momentum shifted dude's way, and I was like, "Bro, like you gotta find a way to win this tiebreak."
Yeah, you got locked in. Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, fifth set, all right, 2-2. And then, the other guy kind of broke a point on him. So for those out there, when you don't know, when you break a game on somebody is when you're not serving and you win. Well, because when you serve, you're at advantage to win the game. You're at advantage to win the game. So when you're not serving and you win, it's like a 2-game swing because you win that game and then you're going to serve for the next game. So you have control over how the rallies are going to go because you're serving. So yeah, that 2-point swing would ended the match pretty much. So now, as of now, there are no American players on both the men and the women's side left in the tournament. That's the first time that's happened since 2017. So I will definitely have something to say about this. I will get back in the booth, and I will. I know there's some tennis fans watching as well, so they've been asking about some tennis content. So
Okay.
yeah, right. I'm gonna get in the booth about that. But
okay.
Yeah, man.
All right. Say less. Definitely want to bring up. Unfortunately, today the NBA lost another huge figure. Rick Ottoman. He passed away today, 79. Hall of Fame coach. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I got that joint through the notifications, man. Hall of Fame coach, man. Yeah, NBA been losing a lot of family members in their association the last few weeks, man. It's really unfortunate. Prayers to everybody. I know there's a lot going on in the world. I know people have got a lot of personal stuff going on, but that's one of the reasons why I do love sports, because it does have like a healthy escape. People can come together for a few hours to root for or against certain teams and players. So yeah, this is my wellness check-in. Check on your peoples. Check on your do I love yous and everything.
Yeah, my condolences to the family, especially the Denver Nuggets coach, because that was his dad. So yeah, my prayers and go out to him as well.
Yeah, man. But outside that, yeah, well, definitely looking for this finals, man. If y'all haven't, please go watch some of our past episodes, man. Especially during this playoff run, some good content. Actually, we have a few rant corners. My Wizards address after winning the #1 pick. Then of course we had some fun in Rio talking about the Rookie of the Year award and everything. But yeah, man, we always grinding, but on the lookout. We got some big up and coming sporting events that you might catch us at. So definitely stay tuned to the channels, man. But before we leave, man, Dave, what we tell these people?
Yeah, subscribe to the pod. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that subscribe button right there. Hit that joint. Do us a favor. Hit that joint. Also, do us another favor. You like this episode? You like what you heard, like what you saw? Please hit that like button. We appreciate everyone for watching. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Google Pod, whatever the case may be, we appreciate you. We appreciate your ears as well. Make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, all that good stuff. Yeah, man, more content is on the way. We have been here. We have been there. We've been at your baby mama's house. Just playing.
Chill. No.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I gotta keep the viewers on their toes. I gotta keep the viewers.
I know. I said. Technically, that might be speaking to me though. But I'm just saying.
The Draco just going like this. It's out of control. No, we just been everywhere, man. So we have content that we haven't even like posted yet. So, but that's gonna be on the way.
We got that hot shit.
Yeah, we got hot shit. Gonna be back in the rant corner. And also we are in the month of June now. And guess what is happening starting June 11th? The beautiful game is coming to North America. Yes, the World Cup starts June 11th. All the way up to July 19th. So I will get in the booth to give you guys a preview of the World Cup. I'll talk about the storylines that you should look out for. I'll talk about the players that you should pay attention to. And we'll go group by group to your show to give predictions of who will make it to the knockout stages out of these groups. And also, we got to talk about USA Soccer, what their chances look like. Will they be able to, have a chance to, make a run? So definitely want to talk about that. So stay tuned. More content, more good stuff is on the way.
All right. Appreciate that, Dave. Shoot, with that, man, we Sassing 4. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We out. Oh, yeah, Chair Holgram. We gotta take your pads to the cookout. You can't come to the cookouts this summer. I'm sorry.
Get in the weight room, dog. Get in the
Check
weight
in
room.
next year. Check in next year, chat. Check in next year.